Thanks for tuning in for the Turnover Football Show brought to you by Delco Football. I'm your guy, LT. I'm here with panel members, Dan and Kev. Today we come to you reporting we're now finished with week 5, going into week 6, which is the 7th game for most of our teams. And we're going to start today with our Delco Donuts. All right. So now we've tallied them up. Right now, Chester's in the lead with 4 donuts so far on the season. But we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 5 teams that have 2 donuts on the season so far. Strathaven, Ridley, Bonner, O'Hara, and Radnor. It's a lot of defense being played. All right. Then we also have a ton of teams that still have 1 donut on the season. That's Episcopal Academy, Haverford, Academy Park, Garnet Valley, Marple, Carroll, and Lower Marion. Keep up the great work on the defensive side of the ball. Keep on pitching them shutouts, fellas. All right. So next, we're going to move on to our 50 pieces. It's been a lot of them lately. A whole lot of them. Whole lot. So we have 4 teams that have put up 250 pieces so far this season. Springfield have put up 250 pieces. Chester, Ridley, and Haverford. They've all had 2 games where they had over 50 points. Then we also have Strathaven, Bonner, Carroll, and Episcopal Academy who have had 50 pieces on the season. All right. So that being done, we're going to move into our featured players and check in with them and see how they're doing on the season. All right. So first thing we'll check in with Liam Taylor, who actually broke a record this weekend. Liam had 29 carries for 362 yards and 4 touchdowns, which is crazy. But he broke his own record, own Haverford High School record that he set last year, and he actually set it against the same team. Not going to say the team name. But he also had 8 tackles. So on the season, that brings him, he's over 1,100 yards now with 162 carries, 17 touchdowns on the season, 49 tackles. He got a tackle for loss, forced a fumble recovery, and a sack. His next game, he'll be playing against Springfield. That's going to be a good game. All right. Next, we'll move on to Jalen Harris from Chester. He's picked it up the past couple of weeks. This week, he went 9 for 9 for 194 yards, 3 touchdowns. But he also had 4 carries for 89 yards for 3 touchdowns. So he had a 6-touchdown game. But he also had 1 catch for 9 yards when he caught his own pass. And he also had a touchdown, which brings his numbers up to he's thrown for 616 yards, 8 touchdowns, 2 picks. Rushing, he's rushed for 211 yards and 8 touchdowns. Keep grinding, Jalen, doing that. He's definitely picked it up recently. Next, we'll go to Brett Walski over at Marple. 13 carries, 75 yards for a touchdown. He had 4 tackles, also 4 catches for 35 yards. And on the season, that brings him to, he's at 752 yards rushing for 9 touchdowns, 14 grabs for 151 yards. And he's over 1,100 yards in all-purpose yards. Lastly, we'll visit the defending state champs, Mr. Campbell. This past week, he was 13 for 19 for 175 yards, 3 touchdowns. Consistent numbers. And on the season, he's thrown for 871 for 9 touchdowns, only 1 pick. Next day, he's at Father's Judge. So those are our featured players. We have a couple other guys we wanted to give notice for. Nick DeLuca. He broke Lower Marion's career passing mark. He has 3,674 yards on his career. He just broke that this past weekend at Haverford. Your guy, Goins, Amaj, he's approaching 1,000 yards. He's at 984, I'm sorry. 10 touchdowns on the season. He's having a heck of a season. Mark, say it again.
So that's amazing.
Yeah. Then we got Maurice Danzler from Chai. He's approaching 1,000 yards. He has 912 now. 12 touchdowns on the season. And of course, Liam, he's already over 1,100 with the 17. So, we got some guys that's grinding again. If you're hitting milestones, please reach out, share the information. We definitely give you a shout out, man. We want to show love to everybody that's doing their thing in Delco football. All right. So next we'll talk a little bit about standings. So standing wise, we have 3 teams still undefeated in Delaware County. Springfield ahead of the Central League 6-0, Chester 6-0 ahead of the Del Valle, and Episcopal Academy 5-0 in the Interact. Behind Springfield, we have 2 one-loss teams. Strath Haven has one loss. Ridley has one loss. They're trying to keep pace with Springfield.
Haverford only has one loss.
Haverford has one loss too.
Oh, Haverford as well. Yes. Then we have two lost teams. Garnet Valley, Pencrest. They're falling behind. It's going to be tough to catch up, but that's what the Central League picture looks like.
Yep.
And in Del Valle, we have 2 3-loss teams. It's going to be rough to catch up to Chester 6-0, but Academy Park and Chai both 3-3. And then when we look at the Catholic League, we have O'Hara's at 5-1. We have Bonner that's at 4-1. But Bonner does not have a loss in the PCL. O'Hara does, obviously the game last week. O'Hara, Bonner getting that victory.
It's kind of the same thing with Garnet Valley. We have Garnet Valley at 4-2.
Right.
They lost them on Coachville, so they'll be one game out in Central.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting, especially the last 3 weeks. It's a lot of big Central League games coming up. So, all right. So that's just an idea of standings, what we look like. You can always hop on the page. I have the standings up of all the teams that you can, check in on all the Delco football pages on X, on Facebook, and on Instagram, where you can see the standings of the whole Delaware County. All right. So next we'll get into our panel picks. So our first game, we have Father Judge visiting Bonner. Who you like, Dan?
I believe this one's a no-brainer. I watched Father Judge last week attempt to play St. Joe's Prep and failed miserably, so I'm definitely going with Bonner on this.
I like Bonner. How about you, Ken?
Bonner, but I'd like to see them start faster. Too slow coming out of the gates. They need to come out at tunnel and get ready to play some football. Sooner or later, you're playing these big dogs coming up. You're going to need to start from the first whistle.
Start fast, right?
Yep, start from the whistle.
Okay, our next game, we have Archbishop Carroll at West Catholic. Who you like, Kev?
I'm going to take the Birds. Carroll's been hurting me lately. I've been taking them too much, so I'm going to go with the Birds.
Same here. I like West Catholic in this matchup.
Same here, West Catholic.
Okay. Next game, we have Roman Catholic, who just came off a huge victory, going to Springfield to visit O'Hara. Who you like, Dan?
Roman all the way.
Okay. It's tough to go against them. Would love to see O'Hara, with the upset, but I'm going to go with Roman.
Yeah. Roman being LaSalle, it's a great win for that program. But yeah, Roman's going to be a little bit too much for O'Hara.
Okay. Our next game, we have Lansdale Catholic visiting Delco Christian. Are back in action after having a forfeit last week. Who you like, Kev?
I'm going with Lansdale Catholic, PCL. That's a team just playing 11-man football. Going to be too much.
Same here. I like Lansdale Catholic in the matchup.
Same here. Lansdale Catholic for the win.
Okay. Our next game, we have Bishop Shanahan going to visit the Vanguards of Sun Valley. It's also their homecoming, so they might have a little more to play for this week. Who you like, Dan?
I mean, they do have a lot to play for, but it's not going to be enough. I'm going with Shanahan.
Same here. I like Shanahan. Somebody got to get going. They're with 0-6, so hopefully at some point they can pull one out. But I like Bishop Shanahan.
The JV did look good yesterday, though, so shout out to JV for beating Kennett. That was a good win.
Okay. All right, next we have a Central League matchup. Garnet Valley going to Radnor. Who you like, Kev?
GV, they got it together after the first 2 losses. They've been rolling. They keep it going this week.
Yeah, Garnet Valley's definitely picked it up. And Radnor's dropped a couple, even though we talked about how much they're improved, but just tough playing in that Central League. So, but I like Garnet Valley too. Yeah.
I really wanted to pick Radnor. I do. I think this game's going to be super close, but I'm going Garnet Valley.
Okay. Our next matchup, we have Kennett going to visit Chichester. Chichester started off 3-0, now they're 3-3. What's your thoughts?
I got to go with Kennett on this one.
Okay. Same here. I know Chai was pretty banged up. And probably got banged up a little more in that game they just played. And Kennett, I'm going to have to take Kennett in this one. Chai's on a little bit of slide. They have to regroup. We like it.
Yeah, I'm going with Kennett. Well, 5-1. They're looking pretty good, looking pretty strong. Chai coming off that loss, it's going to be hard to bounce back like that. So, Kennett.
Okay. Lower Marion at Marple. Who you like there? Another Central League matchup.
I got Marple. I think this is Lower Marion's been playing well. Your kid DeLuca is playing unbelievable over there. But yeah, I'm going to go Marple. Wolsey's going to get going, and Marple pretty big.
In the matchup, yeah, I actually took Marple as well. I think they have the better all-around team. They have some weapons. Lower Marion, like you said, Luke been balling, but he needs a little more help. You like
for sure, Marple all the way.
Okay. Next game, we have Strathaven visiting Conestoga. Your thoughts, man?
I think this is a game that Strathaven needs on the schedule. They're banged up. I feel like if they come to play, they can rest their starters in the second half. I'm going Haven.
I like Haven all the way. How about you, Kev?
Haven.
Okay. Next, we have Upper Darby at Pencrest, which I think would be an interesting one. Upper Darby playing Ridley tough this past week. That was an eye opener. But who you like?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Pencrest, but like you said, Upper Darby did just play very really team tough. I wasn't really expecting that. Let's see if they can do it 2 weeks in a row, playing up to their potential. But I'm gonna go Pencrest.
With that offense, I think just going to be a little too much ball grab. I think they're gonna take the air out of the ball. They're gonna dominate possession time. I like Pencrest.
I think Upper Darby's learning how to play and learning their style, but I think Pencrest is learning how to win. And there are two different levels there, so I'm going Pencrest.
Okay, our next matchup, we move to our Saturday games, and we have a few of them this week. First matchup, we have Georgetown Prep from Maryland coming up to visit Haverford School. Haverford School playing some good football, man. What do you like?
Haverford School all the way.
Okay, same here. I like Haverford. I think they'll keep rolling.
Yeah. Haverford School took care of Bonner 2 weeks ago, and they're just rolling right now. I'm going to go with Haverford School.
Okay, our next game, a Delval matchup. We have Chester going to visit Academy Park Saturday at 1 o'clock. What's your thoughts on the game?
Chester big. I don't see them losing a game in the Del Val. They're just going to keep rolling. Chester.
Ditto. Chester big.
Same thing, Chester.
And not much need to be said there.
Nothing at all.
Yeah. Our next game, I think it's going to be a good one. Penwood. They're going up against your Bucks. Dan, what's your thoughts?
I'm right with Interboro. Interboro's going.
Do it for Dan.
Home, exactly. That might be the only one, but Interboro's going to pull this out. I'm going to go 24-10.
Oh, scores.
24-10.
But listen, you're not the only one. I like the Bucks in this matchup. I like their listen. Mamadou Rogers, I think he gets loose this game,
Yes, he
man.
will.
You know, he might try to get out there. I ain't gonna call the numbers out, but then Penwood gonna be sitting there trying to make sure
I
he
did
don't
it
get
on
those
purpose.
numbers. But I like the Bucks.
Clean sweep. Interboro. They're playing pretty good football. Kids getting rolling. Interboro. I think Interboro's going. This is going to be their stepping stone for them to continue at the rest of the season.
Okay.
Got you. Okay. Now the next one. This game was voted by the panel, not just us three, all 12, 13 of us as the game of the week. Also on our fan poll game of the week, we have Haverford 5-1 going to visit Springfield 6-0. I think this is going to be a good game. Thoughts, Kev?
I'm going to go with Springfield. I think it's going to be a very great game. You know, two top teams in the Central League. I think Springfield is going to be a little bit too much. They just seem to be able to win them big games the last couple of years. I do see Lamb getting off, doing his thing, but I don't know if it's going to be enough to get the job done. Springfield.
Yeah, and I watched that Haverford Lower Marion game last week very closely. I like Springfield. I think they're not as one-dimensional as Haverford, and I think that may come into play because they can pass the ball a little bit. But I like the Cougars.
It's 3 in a row. I'm going Springfield, and I know earlier this year, Kev, you challenged Liam to get 300 yards that game.
He got it last
And-
week.
He got it last week.
But again, I want to see him do it against a team that's at the top of the league. I want to see if he can do it against a 6-0 team. He didn't do it against Haven. He didn't do it against Pancrest. I want to see you do it against the top guy. That's what I want to see.
Okay. Our next game, Ridley going to visit Harrison. Your thoughts?
Ridley's rolling. I'm going Ridley.
Ridley by a lot of points.
Sweep it up. Ridley.
Okay. And the last team is the Episcopal Academy. They have a bye this week, so they don't have a game. So those are your picks for this week. Don't like it, prove us wrong, baby. That's the motto. So next, we'll get into our score rankings. Offensively, we'll do defense first. Our top 5 ranked scoring defenses in Delaware County are Chester, they're only giving up 1.4 points a game. And that comes off of, last week was the first time they got scored on. Then we have Strathaven giving up 5.5 points a game. Then we have Episcopal Academy, who's playing good football, only giving up 8 points a game. And then we have Bonner. Bonner's giving up 9 points a game. And I'll even go to the 6 because I remember you mentioned you thought they were one of the top defenses in the county, Ridley, where they're giving up 9.2 points a game. That's some stout defense. I mean, that Chester run was amazing. Having no one score on them. We finally gave one up, Academy Park. Let's see if you can do it. But those are our top defenses in Delaware County. Then we'll shift over to our offenses. Our top offense in Delaware County scoring-wise is Springfield. They're scoring 45.5 points a game. Number 2 is Chester, scoring 45 points a game, only a half point behind Springfield. Episcopal Academy, you're hearing a lot of similar teams. And that talks to dominance. But Episcopal Academy, they're scoring 39 points a game. Here's Ridley again. Ridley's they're scoring 36.2 points, and then Haverford High, they're scoring 34.5 points, and I'll put your alma mater in there at 6, Strathaven. They're scoring 32.7 points a game.
And even with that, though, and whether you like it or not, Chester probably should be number 1 on that list because they're the only one on that top list that had a forfeit.
Right.
Let's not forget that they missed the opportunity to score another 50 piece or whatever else may be.
True that.
And probably will be up there.
And I definitely would like to know why they forfeited because that's probably why they forfeited because they saw that 50 piece coming. Yeah, but that's a talk for another day. So now that we're on the subject of just our scoring offenses, we've had a lot of big time scores in the past 3 weeks. And just to put it into context for you, Springfield have scored in these all past 3 weeks. They had a game where they scored 60 points and they scored 48 points. Haven put up 56 points a couple weeks ago. Then we got Ridley. Ridley put up 55 points on the team. Then you got Strath. They put up 61 on the team, and then they put up 60 on the team. That's Haverford. That's Haverford. Yeah, Haverford. Haverford put up 61 points on the team, and then 60. 60 was this past weekend. They put up 61 on that team from it wasn't a Delco team, but they put up 61 on them, the same team that Chai beat, and I think Innerville too. And then the big one, the Clippers last week with their 78-point game. What's your thoughts on all these points being scored, fellas?
There's a lot of thoughts, man. Go ahead. I'll let you go ahead. You're right.
So 78 points, a lot of points.
He went right at the 78
So
points.
it's 78 points.
Okay.
And then scoring 24 in the fourth is, I still don't understand how it happens with a running clock. So I didn't see the game. I can't really speak on it. I heard there was a scoop and score, so that takes care of one touchdown. Do they kick extra points ever?
They've been going for 2 that I've seen. I've seen maybe 3 games, but I don't recall seeing a kicker, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I would like to see them. If you don't have an extra point team, that's your time to work on that in a live game. So going for 2, you don't need to run it up. We're not saying you run it up, but you don't need to get the extra point. You know what I mean? You just work on your extra point. 78 points, man. It's a lot of points. It's a lot of points.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Like I'm hoping, like I said, I haven't seen the game, but I'm hoping the ones then come out, even play a snap in the third quarter. You're up 48-7. Your 2s, your 3s, your 4s, if you have 4s, should all got plenty of playing time in that game. But man, 78 points, a lot of points up there on the board.
No, touch on that before I
I'll touch on because I see both sides of it, right? I see everything Kev says, and I agree with everything Kev says. But I also agree with letting your team let some stuff out, having some fun. And the way I was brought up with Kevin Clancy, because when I was in high school, it was either Marple or Lower Marion. It might have been 72-0, right? And I'll tell you,
guilty.
Yeah. And I'll tell you straight up that I only played 6 plays as a starter. I was out of the game. And when the JV guys go in, they play football. But as you all know, Strathaven, we never throw the ball.
Yeah.
So it doesn't look terrible, right?
We
never go for 2.
Sweeps.
Right. We never go for 2, so it doesn't look bad. And Coach always makes sure we're respecting the other opponent and doing it the right way. And if you happen to score running a dive, then go score. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, you still have to play. Yeah. But I remember this happened last year, right? Because you brought up the Chester, so I'm going to bring up the Chester Innerborough game. And I think there was an instance, and again, I could be completely off. But there was instances of like an onside kick at one point, and like you could tell they were trying to run up the score, and it was kind of personal. And I don't think that was happening, and I hope that's not what's happened this weekend. Because I know both coaches. I know both coaches well. I look at both coaches as friends, so I wouldn't put that on their name. But there is a way that you do it in a classy way that you can run the score up, but nobody feels like, oh darn, coach did that to say, F you to the other team or whatever else may be. That's just how I feel.
Well, I didn't see the game, wasn't at the game, had track meet myself. I did a little bit of digging, finding out, how the scores were done. So what I received in just fourth quarter, the 24 points. The first one was a third and very long, and it was early in the fourth quarter. And a quick screen was called, but the kid, and these are all backups from what I'm being told. These are all kids that don't get varsity time. The quick screen was thrown, and the kid took it to the house. Now, I've also heard of the other team, kind of backing off the throttle themselves. The second touchdown was a basic run. And this kid is not a kid that, gets varsity carries. He's definitely a JV kid. And I actually saw the highlight of that kid, and I could tell he's not, one of them. But he made like 6-7 kids miss it and took it to the house. And the last one, as you said, was scoop and score. Now, I think at this point, any team that plays against Chester, when you walk on that field against Chester, if it's 30-0 in the second quarter, they're going to keep on scoring. They're going to keep on scoring you. Now, fourth quarter, that's where it gets iffy. Like, okay, you know what I mean? Now, it didn't sound like it was intent to run up the score. Like, it was kind of like stuff was just happening and everything was going their way. But then I wasn't there, so I can't tell body language.
Right.
I haven't watched all the play calling, so I can't. It's tough to really comment on it if you're not there. But when you hear 24 in the fourth with a running clock, it is like, whoa.
It's almost about.
Yeah.
One thing you just said there, they threw a quick screen on a third and long. The game's over. Why are we not just running the ball?
Maybe they want their backup quarterback experience throwing the football.
Come on, we've all played football. We've all been in these spots. I've got my towels blown off, and I've been on both sides.
Right.
And it's just, it's what it is. Is you run the football, you take the clock down, you punt the ball away. So if you're throwing a screen, the other one, like you said, if it's a run, it's a dive, and you take off, hey, you still got to play football.
Right.
The other one's a scoop and score. Hey, that's football. It's going to happen.
Right.
That ball shouldn't be up in the air. That's just my opinion.
Got you.
No.
Got you. Anything else?
There was, but I lost it. I was listening to that.
Yeah.
And listen, it'd be interesting to see the tape, to see what the other play calls were.
Hey,
you know what I mean?
I was a part of the coaching staff that got put 100 on them at Sun Valley.
How? In football?
Someone put 100 on you?
Yeah, a team in Ohio. We went up there, we lost 100.
I remember that.
Thank God I wasn't on the sideline. I didn't make the trip.
I wouldn't have either.
The coach said, thank God you weren't there, Kev.
Oh, man.
And for the record, that's what I was about to say. If it's the first and second quarter, score 65 if you want.
Yes, absolutely.
Once the second half comes, because that's when the running clock starts, that's when you take
you throttle it down. Yeah.
Well, listen, maybe Chai stop playing them on Saturday morning and start playing on Friday nights then. Maybe a message need to be sent, but let me stop. But yeah, it's
this is going somewhere else.
Yeah, it's going to go somewhere else. Y'all playing them on Saturday before y'all got lights. But we're going to talk about that another time. But yeah, listen, also I actually missed something. Wanted to point out, Liam Teller from Haverford High School, right now he has on his career 4,851 rushing yards. And that's 939 yards away from our county all-time record for rushing in a career. With 4 games left
and playoffs,
that's
a wrap.
He got a shot, and then possibly Thanksgiving. But schedules beefing up, like especially in the Central League, man. Some of these Central League games coming up are some good games. Like we talked about Haverford and Springfield this week, but then you got to look at next week where you have Springfield's at Radnor, Pinecrest is at Marple. Haverford is going to Ridley, so they're going to go see that number 6 ranked defense. So and then the following week, you got Pinecrest at Ridley, you got Radnor at Haverford, Springfield's going to Garnet Valley, so that Central League schedule, yes, it is. It's going to be some good games, and even looking at the last week of the season, you got Garnet Valley going to Ridley. You got Stoke at Haverford, so he, but
You might get it right there.
but you got Strathaven.
You might get it right there.
But then you got Strathaven going to Springfield. So
Right.
you got some good games coming up. Things are heating up. The playoffs are coming. You can also check on my page. Every week I do a mock of what the playoffs will look like if it started today. So, just stay dialed in. We got a lot of stuff coming your way. We're going to have, some playoff specials. We might even do a bracket this year, and let you guys do a bracket. So, just stay tuned. And again, just thanks for tuning in with us. Anything, you can always inbox Delco Football on any of the platforms. If you, again, coaches, if you have players that are shining, please send information to me, and I definitely will share it. Also, we'll let you know we're going to be doing our own all-county team this year. At the end of the season, we'll reach out to the coaches to get all your stats, and we're going to do it blindly. And when I say that, what I mean is the panel's going to select who they think the best players in the county are, but they will not see their names. They will only see their stats. So it's going to be a blind. So it's no favoritism, all that stuff, because we've had our issues with that newspaper. I'm not gonna say their name, but that newspaper going through some stuff sometimes. But we're definitely listening. We want to pick the players that had the best season, even with our player of the year voting. So you can look forward to a all county team coming from Delco Football. So again, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being with us. Any input, please comment on stuff, send DMs, and we're gonna continue to support all of Delco Football, man, because we love what Delco Football stands for, and we're one of the best leagues around, and you guys prove it every week. But thanks for tuning in. Have a good one.